Please use the link below to get the notes, questions and other videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share to others for our daily new videos.
Yeah, welcome back guys. Welcome back to our class. We are looking for distinctions and making sure that we pass. All of us, we must pass. We must go to the university. Nothing can refuse us from passing. This is meiosis. And the content creator today is SAIDI as usual. We have exciting news. We have exciting news on our channel. To our learners who are using our channel, we'll be providing vouchers along the video. So it will be airtime. It can be 10 rand, it can be 20 rand, it can be 30 rand, 50 rand, 100 rand. So in each and every video we'll be releasing from now. Sometimes the first person to comment on our video, then we will take that person and then we'll give a voucher. Maybe it's a voucher maybe for KFC, a voucher for McDonald's. Yeah, as we grow, as we continue growing, you never know that maybe we will have to have big prizes for our channel. Number two is we have also opened another YouTube channel which is going to help us in yeah, we know that this channel is designated to students who are grade 7 to grade 12. We are still building it. We are adding more videos each and every day. We have more teachers who are going to be coming to be producing content. But now we have opened another channel which is going to be shooting to the university, and also at least know how you can make money when you're still a student. Yes, you can also ask questions. It can be questions for health, any questions you feel like you wanna know, maybe, but not in the context of education only. There are some things which parents, people don't talk about. So this is the time. This channel is going to be trying to answer those questions people have. You just drop a question or WhatsApp and then we make a video concerning about the question you have asked. So guys, subscribe and then hit the notification bell, so that when you release any video in our channel, you just know that, or just click the link and then start watching the video. Then you get your airtime, get your prizes. Yeah, the voucher will be embedded in the video, and then the first person to spot that voucher, then we'll be able to use it. But that person who has got that voucher, please comment down that, yeah, I'm so and so, yeah, I've got the voucher. Yes, today we are going to be looking at what you call meiosis. I know meiosis is one of the difficult topics, very simple to take, to grasp, but when it comes to answering questions, people get a lot of problems concerning about this topic. Yet is very easy to understand, but it is very complex when it comes to answering questions concerning about it. So what is meiosis? So you can visit our website, www.thundereduc.com, and then, or if you have any challenge questions, then you can also WhatsApp on that number that is SAIDI. So I'll be able to try to answer your questions. Let's look at meiosis. Meiosis, we said that meiosis, humans reproduce, other organisms reproduce, they multiply. What about cells? Cells, they have two kinds of reproduction they undergo. They have what called mitosis and you have what called meiosis. Mitosis can occur in other body cells, but meiosis occurs only in the reproductive cells. Where did you come from? Actually, meiosis was the basis of you living. Without meiosis, you wouldn't have existed. So let's look at meiosis in detail. So it's a type of cell division that results in 4 daughter cells, each with have number of chromosomes to that of the parent. So it means that meiosis starts with the one cell. This cell divides and then you form 4 daughter cells. These cells they have half the chromosome number to that of a parent. If you have started with 4 chromosomes, it means that these cells, they will result in 2 chromosomes. That's why you're saying that half the chromosome number of that of the parent. If the man, the body cell is having 46 chromosomes, then the reproductive cells or the daughter cells which are resulting from that are going to be having 23. And then from the mother also 46, they are going to result into 23. So the process of reducing these cells into half the chromosome number, that process or that reproductive process is what we call meiosis. So what does meiosis result in? So this meiosis will result in the production of gametes. Gametes, these are the sperms and the ova. And when you're talking about the humans, and then plants, you're talking about spores, the pollen grains, you can talk about the ovules. Those are some of the things which are as a result of meiosis. So in humans or in animals, it occurs in the ovary. See this colored word, in the ovary. Basically, ovary are found in female, and then these ovary, they produce what you call the ova. So the reproductive cells in the females, we call them ova. If it's one, it's called the ovum. If there are many, we call them ova. And then in male, we call it's occurring in testes. And then in testes, what we call them spermatozoa. The cells which are being produced, we call them spermatozoa. So in female, we call them ovary. Those are the ova. Ovaries, the ovaries produce the ova, and then in the testes, they produce what we call the spermatozoa. What about in plants? In plants, occurs in the ovary still, but what it produces, ovary produce what we call the ovules. Meiosis occurs in the anthers, and then what it is being produced is what we call the pollen grain. So the question can come and say that other than the ovary in animals, which other place does meiosis occur? That is testes. And what does it produce? It produces what we call the spermatozoa. And then in plants, it occurs in the ovary. It produces what you call the ovules. Basically, that's what you needed to know about this first introduction of meiosis. You know, meiosis is basically the cell divides, and the most important thing to divide is the nucleus. So we need to know the nucleus to do a recall about the nucleus, because we saw the nucleus at the beginning of DNA and also saw the nucleus in the grade 10. So let's look at the nucleus, the centrosome, and then the cytoplasm. Nucleus contains the genetic material. What about cyto means a cell, and then plasm means a fluid, the fluid of the cell. So basically, this is what you are going to look at. Let's look at them in detail. So this is a cell. It has a nucleus. Outside, you have what called a cytoplasm. Then in the cytoplasm, you have what called the centrosome. Centrosome, why do we talk about the nucleus, centrosome, and the cytoplasm? Because the DNA, you'll find it there, and then it is the centrosome which produces the centrioles, and the centrioles produce spindle fibers which hold the chromosomes in position. That's why you talk about it. And then there is a time when this one disappears, and then you remain the content of the cytoplasm. So the nucleus disappears, and then remain only with the content of the cytoplasm. So basically, that is a nucleus. And then when it brings it in exam, it looks like this. So this is a nucleus. It's a nucleus, but the nucleus has a dense body which we call the nucleolus. Then outside the nucleus, you have the nuclear membrane which has the extension which we call the endoplasmic reticulum. But because it has the ribosome, they look rough. Then we call them the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum. So basically, that's it. It has the nuclear pore, the holes where substances go through, most especially messenger RNA in this case. and other substances. Then you have what you call the nucleoplasm, the plasma of the nucleus, meaning that the fluid of the nucleus, the nuclear envelope, that's what you call the nuclear membrane. Then the ribosome, we say that the ribosome, the sites for protein synthesis. Chromatin, this one is the one which condenses to form chromosomes. And then you have the nucleolus. Then you have the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So we have explained all that. So when you look at the nucleus or when you look at the DNA, basically that's what you see. You have when the chromatin network condenses, you form what you call the chromosomes. So the chromosomes, they condense. You see, they have condensed. And then after that, you form the real structure of a chromosome. It looks like this. So that's the structure of a chromosome. Now, let's look at the chromosome in detail. So we have seen where the chromosome comes from. It cannot exist without DNA, with this specific genes. You see, it has specific genes. So let's look at the structure of a chromosome. Why do we need to look at chromosome? You resemble your father because of the chromosome, because of the genes you obtained from your parents. Your father, your mother. What about those who don't resemble the father and the mother, but they resemble their grannies? We shall see. Another question. What about why? So in this topic, we're going to see why. Why do you resemble your neighbor? Why do you resemble when you go somewhere? When you go somewhere, someone can say that, hey, when you resemble someone. Why do you resemble someone? Those are some of the questions we are going to answer. And this is the reason why we need the structure of the chromosome. So the structure of the chromosome. Chromosomes are thread-like structures present in the nucleus. They're thread-like. They're thread-like. It means that they are like strings, thread-like structures found in the nucleus. That's why we talked about the nucleus, which carry genetic material. That's why you resemble your father. That's why you resemble your mother, which carry genetic material from one generation to the next generation. So it means that your kids will try to resemble you. Yes. Then you're saying that each chromosome is made up of the DNA. We saw this, that DNA genes are almost the same thing, but on a different scale. So these DNA or these genes are tightly coiled many times around a protein called histones. So the histones, we saw this when we are talking about protein synthesis, and also when you're talking about the structure of the DNA. Yes, so they coil around to form what called the histones that support the structure of the DNA. Because the genes cannot just exist there in air, they need to have a support. So the support we call them histones. So these are the support which make the DNA strand to stand or to be where it is, and so that the chromosome can be formed when this DNA condense. All right, this is the structure of chromosome. Before, remember, we talked about during DNA replication that when does it occur? We say that it occurs before the cell divides or before meiosis. So before the cell divide, the chromosome will look like this. Yes, they will look like this. Therefore, we call this one single-stranded chromosome. Chromosome 1, chromosome 2. Sometimes we call them unreplicated chromosomes. They have not yet done DNA replication. But the moment DNA replication occurs, this chromosome is going to change from this format to this format. That's why we say that it doubles the chromosome number. Don't say that it increases the chromosome number. It increases the chromosome number. It increases the genetic material. From what to what? The best answer is double the chromosome number, doubles the chromosome number, so that when it was like this, then it becomes like that. So this is the centromere, the center of the chromosome. We call it centromere. The two chromosomes which look alike, it means that they share the same structure, yes, and the position of the genes on them, then we call them homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes. So one chromatid from one chromosome and another chromatid from another chromosome, because they are homologous chromosomes. Therefore, because we are talking about chromatids of homologous chromosomes, then they are going to become homologous chromatids. Why? Because we say that they are coming from homologous chromosomes, but each part is a chromatid. Therefore, they become homologous chromatids. So, so sometimes, as I say, that this is called unreplicated chromosomes, and then we call these ones the replicated chromosomes, or what you call homologous chromosomes. So each of these has two names: unreplicated chromosomes or single-stranded chromosomes, and then these ones double-stranded chromosomes or replicated chromosomes. So the number of chromosomes in each cell is a characteristic of organisms. For example, humans, we have 46 chromosomes. You'll find out that Drosophila melanogaster has 8 chromosomes. You'll find out that the sheep has over 60 chromosomes. So each organism has a specific number of chromosomes it has. And you might find out that the biggest organism has fewer number of chromosomes. So that's how life, or that's how God is. So it doesn't matter whether you are big or small, but you might have your own uniqueness. We are saying that chromosomes which are single thread or strand become double when the chromatid joined by centromere. So the center of the chromosome, we call it centromere, as a result of DNA replication. So if DNA replication occurs, as we said, now the single-stranded chromosome are going to become double-stranded. So that's why you call it unreplicated chromosome or single-stranded chromosome. The moment DNA replication occurs, it becomes double-stranded chromosome or replicated chromosomes. Yeah. So what are some of the difference between the haploid and diploid? Di means two. Ploide means you are describing a body. Yeah. So hap means it is derived from the word half the chromosome number. If a human being is supposed to have 46 chromosomes, so when you are haploid, or when the structure is haploid, it has half the chromosome number of that organism. For example, if an organism has 20, the haploid state of it is going to be 10. If the organism is having 32, the haploid number of that organism, or haploid state of that organism is going to be 16. So haploid means half the chromosome number. Diploid means doubling. Doubling. What does it mean? Where is the double there? It means that half from the father, half from the mother, and then they double it. When they double, then they form what called the diploid or diploid, the way you pronounce it. So haploid is the quantity of the cell or organism having a single set of chromosomes. They have what called a single set of chromosomes. So if you have chromosome number from 1 to 2, from chromosome number from 1 to 10, these chromosomes must be in pairs. So if you are haploid, chromosome number 1 to 10, they will be in single. They will be 1, 1, 1, 1. They won't be in pairs. So that's what you call a haploid. But if it is diploid, is when the cell or organism has a paired or two sets of chromosomes, one from each parent. It means that one from the father, one from the mother. When they combine, because there are two organisms contributing this, then you form the word di, which is two. And then ploidy means a body. Yes, it's a state which describes organism with two sets of chromosomes, one from the father and one from the mother. That's the meaning. So for sexual reproduction to take place, it means that it must include the gametes. It must include the gametes and it must include the sex. Reproduction to take place, yes, what happens? A haploid male gamete, that is, if we are talking about humans, we're talking about sperms, will fuse with a haploid. It means that it will fuse. When you say a haploid male gamete, half of the chromosome number from the male, the gamete will have half of the chromosome number from the male. If the male is 46, the gamete is going to have, or the sperm is going to have 23 chromosomes. Will fuse with the haploid number from the female. Also now the female is going to produce 23. When they fuse together, you form fertilization. So when they fuse together, that process is called fertilization. Now you form what you call a diploid, because half from the father, half from the mother. Then because it's half from different people, then it becomes becomes two. They fuse together. And then when we're talking about fusion or fertilization, we are not talking about sex, because the fusion or fertilization can take place without sex. Meaning that meaning maybe they used a male just give out the sperms. So when you're talking about fertilization, we're talking about sex has already occurred, and then the sperms, they swim along the female reproductive system, and then fusion will take place. This fusion can even take place. Someone had sex at night, and then you're walking on the street, fusion is taking place. Imagine, did you know when was your fertilization took place? You don't know. Even your parent doesn't know. Okay, those are the wonders of the science. All right. If you need more questions concerning about this reproduction, go and visit our YouTube channel, which you call Bright Doctor. Bright Doctor. I'll give you the link in the description below so that you can understand it better. All right. The result is a diploid zygote. The result is a diploid zygote. So when you have a haploid, you form a diploid or a diploid zygote. So it means that when the sperm fuses with the ovum, you form what you call a zygote. But this zygote has a diploid number of chromosomes. This body has a diploid number of chromosomes. It means half from the father, half from the mother. All right, haploid, half, which is indicated, haploid is indicated as 1N. And then diploid is also indicated as haploid from the mother, 1N. For example, haploid from the father, for example, is also 1N. So when you combine them, you form the diploid, which is whole. Yes. It's the whole. Now half and half, you get whole. Yes, basically half from the father, half from the mother, from the diploid. Di means two, meaning that contribution from one person and then contribution from another person. So because this resultant body is having two contributions, then we call it a diploid. So it is indicated as 2N. We shall be using this language. So you have to know when someone uses this language, you must know what it means. So a sperm, ovum, and then you form a zygote. Zygote is where a fetus develops from. We shall see in the videos we're going to be releasing soon how is the zygote form. You see the sperm swimming after sexual intercourse. You see the sperm swimming going to the ovum, and fertilization takes place. For more detailed about this, visit what you call the Bright Doctor. Bright Doctor, just a link below. Drop your question, then we shall give you the answers on that YouTube channel. But for purpose of passing exams, we don't go far away from this. But there we can describe as much detailed as you want. So sexual cells is either sperms and ova are haploid. So we call them haploid. They're 1N, 23 chromosomes in humans. So it means that the other organisms have different chromosomes. So we have what called the somatic cells. So it means that we have two types of cells. We have what called the sex cells. Those are the gametes. I say that meiosis can only take place in these cells. We don't find meiosis in any other cells, only in the gametes. So you have the other body cells. Soma comes from the word soma, which means a body. Yes. So these are body cells, are diploid, which means that they are 2N. If they are 46, it means that the haploid is going to be 23. But the question when it comes, it does not bring only human. You can only talk about 46 if they have specified in the question that this is a human cell, because they can bring a cell with 10 chromosomes. They can bring a cell with 4 chromosomes. If they don't specify that this is a human, please don't use 46, because the question is not asking about humans. Then you have the 23 pair of chromosomes that result in the zygote are divided as follows. How? Number 22 pairs. These are the number of chromosomes we have in the body. 22 pairs. That is from pair number 1 to pair number 22. We call them autosomes. Autosomes. It means that how many chromosomes do we have? 44, because this is a pair. Pair number 1 up to pair number 22. We call these ones autosomes. One pair of sex chromosome, that one pair, that is the 23rd pair, we call it sex chromosome, or scientifically we call them gonosomes. Scientifically we call it gonosomes. So this pair is divided into two. We have what called the XX, which is female, and then we have XY, which is male. So it means that females always, they will have XX, and males will always have XY. There is a question which is supposed to be posed here. Why? If females are XX and the males are XY, it means that it's the males to determine the sex. Because female have X, also male has X. But female don't have Y, but male have Y. So it's the male to males to determine the sex of the human being, the sex of an individual. So males, you must stop saying that ladies are only giving you females, they're only giving you boys, they're only giving you girls. Say, I'm giving myself boys, I'm giving myself girls. It's you who is determining this. However, there are some other factors which also determine. It can be on the side of the female. For more details, visit the Bright Doctor. Drop your question there. We will be able to answer those questions. If you drop the question there, then I'll be able to answer those questions. Humans have what we call the chromosomes. We say that from chromosome number 1 to chromosome number 22. These chromosomes are arranged in a specific order and they appear in a specific way. They are in pairs, and then they describe different characteristics in the organism. So let's look at the karyotype, the composition of the nucleus. Which kind of nucleus? Which kind of nucleus do you have? The chromosomes, the type. Karyo is derived from the nucleus and the type. So which type of the nucleus do humans have? That's derive the name of karyotype. Humans' cells are made up of 46 chromosomes. It means that our nucleus have 46 chromosomes. And then these 46 chromosomes are arranged in pairs. These chromosomes are arranged in pairs. It means that they cannot exist as singles. What does it mean if you're not married? All right. It means that they are arranged in pairs. Each pair is different from each other. Each pair is different from other. So these pairs are different. How do they differ? How do they differ? They differ by shape, size, and genetic composition. So pair number 1 is totally different from pair number 2 by size, shape, and the genetic composition. It means that what pair number 1 determines is not the same thing what pair number 2 determines. For example, you'll find out that chromosome number 23, pair number 23 will determine the sex. You cannot find this in other chromosomes. So they vary in shape, size, and the genetic composition. From pair number 1 to pair number 22, number 1 to 22 are called autosomes. What about 23rd pair is called gonosomes, which has XX for female and the XY for male. X, you have to know this, X is longer and bigger over Y. Why? X is longer and bigger over Y. Question, why? Why is X longer and bigger? Bright Doctor will answer that. But on the purpose of this, X carries more genes compared to Y. A karyotype, an example looks like this. You see that chromosome number pair number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, they vary in appearance, shape, and also they vary in the genetic composition. So from 1 up to 22, we call them all this, we call them gonosomes. We call them autosomes. And then the 22nd pair, we call it gonosomes. So basically, that's it. Revision of the process of mitosis. It's advisable before you start meiosis to do a revision concerning about the process of mitosis. So guys, our next video, as we say that we're gonna be having prizes, airtime, meals. Yes, we send you a voucher and then you buy whatever you want to buy. It can be a school bag, t-shirts. We have a lot of gifts to give out on our YouTube channel. So please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, so that others also benefit from this content. And then we're gonna be having all the subjects. So we are trying to increase this. So mitosis occurs in every living organism. In the somatic body cell to produce, those are the body cells, other cells other than sperm and ovum, to produce genetically identical cells. So you can have a hole on the mouth, on the cheek, and then you need meat. So what they can do, they can cut the bum and then they put on the mouth. So you move with the bum on your face. Basically, why do they do that? Because these cells, they undergo what we call mitosis. They are genetically identical. The meat from your bums is exactly the same as the meat from your face in terms of the genetic composition. So two identical cells are reproduced. Two identical cells are produced with identical chromosome number equal to the original cell. It means that the parent and the babies or the daughter cells, they're exactly the same. There is no difference. That's why when you get a wound, another meat develops. Those cells which develop, they're exactly the same. Mitosis has only one cell cycle, i.e., it doesn't have that mitosis 1 and mitosis 2. No, it only has one cell cycle. Only one cell cycle. It means that meiosis, when on the side of meiosis, it has 2 cell cycles, meaning that it has meiosis 1 and also has meiosis 2. So guys, let's look at the process of meiosis. Yeah. The process of meiosis was a very good introduction of meiosis. Now let's look at meiosis in detail. And this will be our next topic tomorrow. Don't miss it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and then share the video. We will be having gifts, prizes in our next videos, starting from meiosis. Thank you very much. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our new YouTube channel in the link below called The Bright Doctor. SAIDI was giving you the lesson. Thank you.